All right, let's get into it. Today we are tackling something that I think every single software team struggles with. How do you take the absolute chaos and uncertainty of a new project and turn it into a clear, manageable plan? It's a huge challenge, so let's dive right in.
And this, right here, is the question, isn't it? It's the one that keeps people up at night. You know where you need to go, you have that deadline looming, but the map is kind of blurry. It's like it's marked, "Here be dragons." So how do you even start to chart a course when you have no idea what's really out there? Well, the very first step, before you write a single line of code or create a single task, is to face those dragons head on. You have to understand and acknowledge all the things that could go wrong. And look, this isn't about being negative or pessimistic. It's just about being prepared.
So what kind of dragons are we talking about? Well, these should look pretty familiar. You've got schedule slips, way too many bugs, and people leaving the team unexpectedly. But what's really interesting is how they're all connected. They feed into each other. For instance, that third one, requirements churn, that often directly causes schedules to slip. Then you're rushing, which leads to more defects. It's a total domino effect.
And make no mistake, requirements churn is the big one. It's that constant shifting of the goalposts while you're trying to build the thing. It's like trying to hit a moving target. And it just leads to endless rework, massive delays, and a super frustrated team. So, this raises the million-dollar question. If this is our biggest risk, how on earth do we manage it?
Yeah, that's the real trick, isn't it? You can't just put your foot down and say no more changes. That's not realistic. Change is just part of the game in software. The key is having a system, a structured way to deal with it.
And the good news is, we are not the first people to wrestle with this problem. Different ways of building software have come up with their own methods for absorbing the shock of new requirements without letting the whole project just fall apart.
So you basically have two very different philosophies here. On one hand, you've got the traditional, plan-driven models. They use something formal, like a change control board, to review and approve every single change. The big risk there, though, is that this board might approve a new feature without really understanding what it's going to do to the schedule. On the other hand, you have agile processes. Here, the power is with the development team. They have a prioritized list, the product backlog, and they only adjust it at specific times, like after a sprint. This keeps the control with the people who are actually doing the work.
Ah yes, the age-old developer problem. We've got a handle on our biggest risk, but now we're just staring at a list of features, and we have no clue how long they'll actually take to build. Estimation can feel like you're just throwing darts in a dark room, but you know what? It doesn't have to be that way.
So let's talk about how to pull estimation out of the world of pure guesswork and into a structured, educated process. And listen, the goal isn't to be a perfect psychic. The goal is to create estimates that are actually grounded in reality and have the whole team's buy-in.
This, right here, is the absolute golden rule of estimation. I mean it. The people who are going to do the work are the only ones who should estimate the work. Managers just don't have that ground-level view. It's really that simple. So, okay, how do you get a group of smart developers to actually agree on an estimate? Well, one of my favorite techniques is called the Delphi method. It's a really clever way to get to a group consensus that avoids that classic problem where the loudest person in the room wins.
Okay, here's how it works. First, and this is key, everyone estimates privately, anonymously. This stops people from just agreeing with the senior dev. Then, you share all the estimates with the group with no names attached. Now the fun begins. The team talks about the estimates, especially the weird ones, the really high ones and the really low ones. Maybe the person who gave a high estimate knows about a hidden risk nobody else thought of. After that discussion, everyone votes again. You just keep repeating this cycle until the numbers start getting closer and closer together. It's powerful because it forces a real conversation and uncovers hidden knowledge.
And here we are. This is the final piece of the puzzle. We've faced our risks, we've got our estimates. Now, how do we take all those numbers and tasks and turn them into an actual calendar, a real-world schedule that we can actually follow without going crazy?
You have to remember, a project schedule is way more than just a list of dates. It's your roadmap. It's a living, breathing plan that has to account for the tasks, the people, and all the messy realities of how work actually gets done day to day.
So if you want a schedule that isn't a total fantasy, you have to think about a few things. First, dependencies. You can't build the second floor of a house before the first one is done, right? Same idea. You can't have one developer working on two critical tasks at the same time. And please, you have to account for the human factor. People take vacations, they get sick, they have training days, and nobody is 100% productive for 8 straight hours. Forgetting this is how schedules become a joke.
Now, this might just look like a simple spreadsheet, but the real power here is in its honesty. You see that you have your original estimate, right? But then you also have a current estimate. Look at that second line. Back-end auth started at 16 hours, but now it's updated to 20. This is how you stay grounded in reality. By constantly tracking the time you've spent and re-estimating the time you have left, you always know exactly where you are. You can spot trouble way before it turns into a 5-alarm fire.
And this is the final thought I really want to leave you with. This gets to the absolute heart of why this stuff is so hard. Projects don't usually fall behind in some big dramatic explosion. No, it happens quietly. It happens one day at a time. A great plan is your best defense, but you have to keep checking in on it because that silent creep of just one more day is the thing that will absolutely get you.
So at the end of the day, the goal of all of this, the risk analysis, the estimation, the scheduling, it's not to predict a perfect future. That's impossible. The goal is to take all that chaos and turn it into something you can manage. It's about navigating that uncertainty with some confidence so you can actually get the job done.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. If this was helpful for you, do me a favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really helps. We'll see you on the next one.